good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is for you guys right now. This is Political Sanity. I'm your host as always, Adam Bruton. We are going through some really, really heavy shit right now, guys. I mean, I don't know, not heavy. It's been a while since I've been here. It's been like almost, not quite 3 months, 2.5. A lot's happened. My wife and I had a baby, another one, third one. She's like a week old, 8 days old. So that's a lot. Plus we got the 2 little other rugrats here. Enough about that, but I think we're finally turning over a new leaf here with the election happening, and we got a good, well, we'll see how the leadership goes. I voted for him in 2020, and I voted for him this time. I'm not ashamed to say that. It's okay. 86% of the population in America voted for him, and for some reason, a lot of people on X cannot wrap their minds around that. They're still, wait. You just wait 4 more years. You just fucking wait. You just wait. I'll show you when I can vote again. And I get it. I totally understand the whole, like, the denying of it, because I did that in 2020. I did not want to accept that he lost. It just goes to show you, though, the difference in strong leadership, because Kamala was not. There was no policy. Like, okay, so I went over policy issues, or policies with, when it came to her, and policies when it came to Trump, and there was really no clear-cut evidence when it came to her policy issue or her policies. I mean, there was nothing. Strength through joy. Let's be joyful, and then she had Tim Walz, and fucking that guy was, man. I never liked him. I live in the state that he governs too, so it's like I don't like him as a person. I never thought he was good when he was elected to the House. I just don't think he deserves the governor position. I mean, he does great things, the free school lunches, that's cool. It's very beneficial. But also, you see a shift in, like, his behavior, because the way that everyone else met him at the DNC, or when he was announced as VP, it was like this whole flamboyant, all this bullshit that he's doing. It's like, that's not the guy. That's not the guy that I know. That's not the guy that I knew. He was very, straight-laced, and this is how we do things, and make sure you snitch on your neighbors if they're doing family gatherings in the middle of quarantine and COVID. And it's like, dude, what the fuck happened to this guy? And now he's back to that straight-laced, demeanor that he has. But he was so close. Like, they were so close to fame, and they thought they were going to get it. They really thought they were going to get it. I will say, in the VP debate between him and J.D. Vance, though, it was very respectful. It was very cordial. I think that's how presidential debates should be run. They used to be up until like what year was it? Not 2012. Yeah, that was like the last year they had a decent presidential debate between Obama and Mitt Romney. But fuck those guys now. They're just, it's too much. We're so divided as a nation right now. It's insane. I shouldn't say we're divided as a nation, because we're not. 86% of U.S. citizens voted for Trump. That's what we wanted. And he won. But they're nitpicking at every little thing he says, every little thing he does. If he says something wrong, that's just what they're doing. And, well, he said this. He said that they're trying to do away with he said the left is trying to do away with popular vote. It's like, dude, the guy fucking slips up. He's human, okay? Everyone slips up. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone says some off-the-wall bullshit on accident, and it happens. There's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, we're nearing the end of the year. I mean, it's getting close to the beginning of the next one, and we're getting ready to transfer power over, and who knows if that's going to actually happen peacefully or what's going to go on. I mean, there's some shit happening right now. Like, it seems like every 4 years, BLM rises up and they try to fuck with things. And I think that's what they're getting paid to do. Like, dude, this is what I'm going to call it. So, like, the black side of X, the African American side of X, is losing their fucking minds right now because of this Jordan Neely thing and Daniel Penny. Like, this happened, I think it was December. Was it December of 2023? Let me look into it. I read the article. I just want to clarify if it really was that long ago. Because if it was, I mean, this guy's been sitting for a while. When does it say? This is obviously New York Times. I'm not I'm not a fan of this bullshit. I don't like reading New York Times. I hate them. Can I go through this without having to sign in? I was able to before. Fudge, man. Sorry, technical difficulties, guys. I had this all saved up yesterday, and now it's... You gotta be kidding me. Dude, I'm not trying to do all this. I'm not trying to create an account here with New York Times. If I sign in with Facebook, I wonder if that'll make a difference. Probably still request my password and sign up for free news stories. It's not really free though, because $1 a week for your first 6 months. Can I just read the fucking article? Sale, don't miss out. Dude, no. I bet you I can find a better... Let's see. Good grief. Okay, so let's try NBC. And I don't trust them either. I really don't. Media is dead, guys. Media is dead. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Let's see. Negligent homicide in the chokehold death of Jordan Neely, a 30-year-old homeless man with a history of mental illness whose final moments on a New York City subway train were captured on bystander video that set off weeks of protests and drew national attention. Set off weeks of protest. I don't remember that. I don't remember. There were people blocking the subway. Aren't those tracks like electrical or something? Like they're electrocuted? Like they have an electrical line in them? They must have disabled it. Hackers. So yeah, they found him not guilty. They acquitted him of all charges. Which, who gives a shit, dude? It was self-defense if you think about it, because this kid went on the train. I shouldn't say kid. He's the same age as me, but look. No, I'm not going to get into that quite yet. So this is the story that I heard. This is what Daniel Penny said is his, kind of like his statement. Basically, this guy came on the train, Jordan came on the train, and was fucking, May 1st, 2023. This guy came on the train and he was fucking just wagging out at people. Threw off his jacket, yelling, "I'm gonna fucking kill you. Someone's gonna die today." Like, basically threats. It's threatening. I mean, this guy's, if he's mentally ill or whatever is going on, now they're trying to say he was mentally challenged. They're trying to spin the story any possible way they can to justify what they're about to do next. And so anyway, what Daniel had said, what Mr. Penny had stated, was that he saw this kid as a threat, and he was listening to music. He was on his way to the gym after class. He's a Marine, so he's listening to music, and he said, as a Marine, you're supposed to basically have courage, and you're not supposed to show fear. But he said the main thing is you have to try to, it's how you handle fear. It's not necessarily, you're not allowed to be afraid. Like, you're allowed to be afraid. You're allowed to be human. There's nothing wrong with that. But this guy was coming on the train, shouting these obscenities at people. I'm going to kill you. Someone's going to die today. And then, I don't know if he lunged at somebody or what happened, but it started this whole fucking thing where, like, Penny was trying to restrain him. And he was laying on the ground with him. Like, he says he had him in a chokehold. I don't fucking know. Everyone's saying it was a chokehold. It looked like clear restraint to me. And when the paramedics came, they had, like, Jordan Neely had a pulse still. So was that negligent on the hospital? Was that negligence on the first responders? I don't know. A forensic pathologist hired by the defense testified that Neely died from a combination of his schizophrenia, synthetic marijuana, sickle cell trait, and the struggle from being in Penny's restraint. So, George Floyd situation, kind of, if you think about it. I'm not comparing this to that, but the way that they died is kind of similar. Like, it's the combination of the drugs mixed with the mental health, mixed with, a sickle cell trait. Not saying that Floyd had that. But the thing is, you're being restrained and you're high, okay? You're going to be more elevated as a person. You're gonna, like, your heart rate's gonna be way more elevated than it should. And then you have a chance for your heart to either explode or whatever. Because that's synthetic marijuana, dude. That shit's no fucking joke. Like, no joke. So he was acquitted. Daniel was acquitted. Penny was acquitted. Now you're seeing all these videos rise up. I don't know if you guys are on social media, whatever. X is probably one of the best things to be on. It gets a little shaky at some points. I had to kind of take a break today. I couldn't really be on it because there was a lot of shit that was pissing me off. But there was a lot of speeches from yesterday. They were like, Jordan Neely's father came out and said, I miss my son, what are we going to do as black men? Are we going to be able to overcome this? Like, what are we going to do about this? Like, I don't know. To me, that seems like he's inciting violence. Like, what are you going to do? Really? Whatever it is you're going to do, you're not going to bring your son back. And number one, you didn't care about him. None of his family gave a fuck about this kid. And it's crazy. They said, oh, he was so harmless. If he was harmless, why was he homeless? Why wouldn't you guys let him live with you? If you missed him so much, I'm going to speak to Jordan's father now. If you missed him so much, why did you give him up to the foster system? You didn't care about him at all. And now it seems to me like they just want a paycheck. Just like Floyd's family did. They did the same shit 4 years ago. All they wanted was money. It was never about who this guy was. It was never about like his death. It's literally about like, oh, I'm going to get a paycheck because I'm black. And I'm literally just, again, allegedly, this is opinion. Like, I'm not saying this is what they're doing. From the outside looking in, it seems pretty apparent to me. Like, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to use his death. And that's what a lot of people on X are doing right now. They're trying to use his death for impressions so they can finally get monetized. Wild shit. Just absolutely wild. But, like, now they're comparing, like, Daniel Penny to, like, Kyle Rittenhouse, which is... Yeah, they're the same in the fact that they acted in self-defense. I don't see anything wrong with that at all. But there's a lot of people who are just defending, like Neely has a lengthy rap sheet. He had a lengthy rap sheet where he was like, he broke some woman's orbital bone and broke her nose by like punching her. She's like 67. He punched her in the subway. Like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like, how could you be that crazy? Like, how could you be that kind of person that you just hit people? And there's a video surfacing now of a guy videotaping him and of Neely, and he fucking, like, he rips his shirt off and he's like, I'm gonna fuck you up, like, blah, like, he's just spouting all this bullshit. It's like, dude, go through life like that? I get it. If you're on crack or if you're on drugs or something, if you're on shit, like, this is my inner, this is my former addict self talking here. Like, this, I get where he's coming from. When you're completely hostile because you're high, like, you don't want people to fuck with you at all. But you take the littlest things, you take the smallest things as an attack. That's a fact. You take it as an attack. It doesn't matter. You could have, like, I remember this one time. This is crazy. This is one time when I was in college, I was on acid. This was my first time ever being on acid. I had a great trip. I was doing just fine. It was like, I was like hour 9 of 12, okay, or 14. And I was walking through Walmart, and I was in a town that I didn't know anybody. We were going to get booze. Whatever. Just fucking around, being stupid. And I was on acid. And I remember I walked by this old man, this elderly man, this elderly gentleman, and I feel horrible about this, but I don't know if he was really looking at me, but I thought he was looking at me. And I got mad. I was fuming. I was so upset about that. And it's like, dude, thinking about it now, like, what a jackass I was. And I didn't hurt him. I remember the person I was with, I told him, I said, I want to slug that old guy, like, in the face. And I didn't do that. But I get the way of thinking. I understand it because I've been there, like the hostile feelings, like you have to defend yourself at any cost because your guard is like always up. You know, like you're always up with like your guard. But again, it fucks with your chemical brain chemistry. It messes with the wiring in your brain. Like, you don't have rational thoughts, especially if you've been using for a long time. You don't have impulse control whatsoever. Even after you're sober, you don't have impulse control at first. Because you need to learn to rewire your brain through coping mechanisms, and you need to be able to just kind of learn a better way to live. And that's so cliche to say that, but it's absolutely 100% true. And it pains me that this guy, didn't get the help that he needed from his family. But again, that's not necessarily, he didn't get the help he needed from his family, but he had opportunities. There were a lot of people. I think there was a community. Let me see if I can find the community note or who posted it. I think it was Elon. Go figure, right? Let me see if I can find this quick. What did he post? Excuse me. Oh man, he tweets like, he posts like he posts so many times in a day. And so I found a version of it. This is posted from NYCLU, retweeted by reposted. Good grief. I'm going to get deplatformed for dead naming X. NYCLU posted on X, Jordan Neely deserved basic human rights, a safe place to live, enough to eat, and access to mental health care. He should still be alive today. So I'm assuming this was yesterday or today. And then there is a community note which says, as part of a plea agreement with prosecutors after he punched a 67-year-old woman in the street in 2021, Jordan Neely was given free access to stable housing and health care at a treatment facility in the Bronx. He abandoned the facility after 13 days. So he had the opportunity to help, or to get help. I have never had a plea deal like that. Well, that's not true. I've had a plea deal like that. Not for a violent crime, though. I never committed any violent crimes, but where I'm from, where I live, this is where it's nice to live in a blue state at some point. I will say that. I'll go on record for saying that. It's nice to live in a blue state if you don't have your life together. If you're a drug addict and you live in a blue state, like, you are going to be able to go to treatment if you commit a crime. Like, you can file for a Rule 25. You can go to treatment. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with going and getting help. But you need to be able to change, and that's the problem. Like, Neely was not ready to change, and that was the issue, because ultimately it was his downfall. He wanted to live in that shit. Like, He wanted to stew in his shit that he was living in, like the whole time. He wanted to live in his mess. And unfortunately, yeah, it ruined him. It killed him in a way. I get a kick out of the people on Twitter saying, like, and these are African Americans, they're saying, oh, well, this is so stupid that they say this. This man was, this, this man was murdered for being loud. Dude, there's a difference between being loud and there's a difference between threatening people and saying some wild ass shit. Like, you can't say that. You can't say someone's going to die today. I'm going to kill someone. You can't say that. You can. It's freedom of speech. But if you're surrounded by innocent women and children, like, dude, read the room. Read the train, you know? But yeah, they're calling for black vigilantes to rise up and, what's the guy's name? Something Newsom. Not Gavin. It's a BLM co-founder. Which they're all trying to get that money, man. They're not trying to help anybody because they don't care about black lives. It seems like they don't care about black lives. They only care about black lives when it fits the narrative, when it's convenient for them, when it's a white on black crime, when it's Hispanic on black, Asian on black, whatever. When it's black on black, they don't get it's this. It's totally this. They don't care. They don't want to see it. Highest homicide rates of all. I think I saved that picture too. I have a picture of all the homicide rates by nationality. Or, that would be the word, right? Nationality, I think. But you see, it's just wild shit, man. It's a repeat. It's all a repeat because there have been people who, like, there are cops who are black that get killed by black people. And they don't say shit. Black lives don't matter. They don't think black lives matter. No lives matter. No lives matter. Black lives don't matter when they're wearing blue to BLM. Black lives don't matter when it's babies being aborted. Black babies. They don't care about that. It's a pick and choose. It's cherry picking. Did I save it? I don't see it. Damn. That would have been nice. Nice little reference. I don't know how to put screens up on here, though. I think I could find it if I really dug for it. I mean, we got the time. We got plenty of time to do this. Let's see here. This is a chart. It's supposed to be a chart, but I can't find it. Good grief. Where's the guy? There he is. Where did he... This is an interesting take. So this is somebody on X who said, schizophrenics often have unpredictable reactions. Should we choke and kill them all off based on their episodes? Plus, if past behavior is the basis for vigilante interventions, every white man in America would probably be killed. And this guy captioned it, clapback of the day. How is that a clapback? How is that a clapback of the day? How? If you have that severe of schizophrenia and you are not medicated, you need to be, like, committed to a mental hospital. Are those even open anymore? I think we have one here. Can't say it's full, though. I don't think it's full. Nobody's saying kill all the schizophrenics. No one's saying that. No one's ever said that. Like, just send them to a place where they can get help. Nothing wrong with getting help. There's nothing wrong. But for this guy to say, I don't know. A lot of people are saying, well, Jordan Neely did all this in the past. That shouldn't define who he is. Like, but he never changed. I could see if he was an upstanding member in society. If he were an upstanding member in society, this wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened at all. It wouldn't have happened this way. I mean, if you think about it, under New York law, a person is justified in using deadly physical force when they reasonably believe it is necessary to use such force to defend themselves or others from imminent use of deadly or unlawful physical force. That's the DA's office saying that shit. Oh, okay, so this is New York City homicides 2023. I wish I could find this. I wish I could put this up on the screen so you guys could see it with me. There's got to be a way to do that, right? There's got to be a way. What do I do? Oh. Whoa. Wow. Never mind. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it, and I'll show you guys. Please refresh. Okay. Hey, so we're back. I got cut off. Yesterday, the battery died on my computer, so I am currently going to be basically doing the second part of this. It's the second day here. Where were we? We were talking about Jordan Neely, and there was a chart that I was going to show you, if I can find it. So I think it was on a thread. There's a comment of homicides in New York City. Okay, so going back, hold on one second. Let me see if I can share the screen really quick. Hopefully the audio doesn't get all fucked up like it did yesterday. So this is on X, obviously. So this is a how I said he had. I don't know if I said. I think I said that he had a lengthy rap sheet. Neely did. So this is like 2015. He kidnapped a 7-year-old girl. In 2019, he punched a 64-year-old man in the face. 2021, Neely slugged a 67-year-old woman in the face as she exited the subway, breaking her nose and fracturing her orbital bone. So orbital bone, I believe, is the around your eye. That one. I can't imagine how badly that hurt. Neely was arrested 44 times but never faced real justice for terrorizing New Yorkers. So this guy was clearly not well by any means whatsoever. But I notice a lot of what is being said right now is that he was murdered just for being loud and black. Which I don't buy that, really. So this is the moving on. We're moving on to the. I mean, let's talk about this a little bit more. He needed help. Okay, he received help, and I'm gonna get to that in a minute. Where he was given the opportunity to have housing. I believe, I don't know if treatment was one of the options, but yeah, it was housing, and I believe it was treatment program as well for drug use, and he left the facility after 13 days. So we're moving on to the New York City homicide rates in 2023. Coincidentally, was the year that he had passed away. So white, we're going to start with white over here on the left. They make up 37.5% of the population. The homicide suspects are 3.5%. Kind of ratioed there when it comes to population versus the suspects. And then we're moving on to black Americans in New York, or black New Yorkers, I should say. 23.1% of the population is black. 57% is the homicide suspects. That's a big jump. It's quite a difference. Hispanic, 29%. Population, 36% homicide suspects. The homicide suspects in these two groups outweigh the others, obviously, as you can see. That's a problem. That's a problem. Why are they committing murders or suspected to commit murders? Asians are 14.5%, and then their homicide suspect rate is 3.2. There is a big difference. And I want to go back to the whole, let's go to the BLM thing too, where they're calling for justice with for Jordan Neely, and his father's jumping in there, and I think we talked about that last. But this gentleman named Hawk Newsom, I believe, I don't know if he's a co-founder, if he's a spokesperson for BLM, but he is on record saying, you know what, forget that. I'm not going to find it on this page. I'm going to find it. I think I might have spelled that wrong. I think it's just, there's no E at the end of his name. There's an E in there, though. Are we not going to find it? It's just pictures of hawks. That's not what I'm looking for. Son of a bitch. That didn't help at all. I should just do what I did yesterday. That was funny. Shit. So we're going on to, I gotta scroll down quite a ways to find this one. Where, scrolling a little quick. Shout out Libs of TikTok. Shout out Mike Baggs too, for providing good content. Man. It's just wild to see this. Wish I could search on the page. I think I can. Puberty blockers, Jasmine Crockett. More shit about Elizabeth Warren, Supreme Court. What the fuck's going on with Elizabeth Warren? Hasn't she shut up yet? Is she ever going to shut up? I feel like if you lie like that, you shouldn't be in office. And I suppose you could say that about Trump, too, if he lied. A lot of politicians just freaking lie, dude. They all just lie. Lie through their teeth. I get a kick out of these Luigi Mangione things. The Photoshop pictures. I've seen them all day. What the fuck? Where is it? I just saw it yesterday. Now I feel like I'm just backtracking. More Nancy Mace drama. I mean, I think I stay on one topic at a time here. Same, it's just, I'm scrolling through a lot of the same stuff here, and I need to find what I was looking for. Where is it? I'm getting close, I think. God, you gotta love community notes. I'm getting closer. We're at Gavin Newsom now. That's not what I'm trying to see, though. Okay, so we're close now, because I'll give this some audio when I get to it. Same thing about the nonverbal child being left on the floor for how long. Dude, you gotta be close here. Okay, so we're still in the Luigi stuff. So Black Lives Matter. Always remember the police have a well-documented record of dishonesty and manipulation. I don't get that at all. I don't get how they just surface every 4 years. I mean, I get it. I'd probably get deplatformed for saying it, though. Get silenced, shadow banned, whatever. There's a trans family. I don't care about that. We're getting close. We're getting close. We're getting close. Come on. Whoopi Goldberg, Jen Psaki. I don't care about that. Where is it? Come on. Sorry, this is like super boring. Trying to find all this shit. It's just they only posted it once. Like they repost everything else on their page, but they won't repost this. Maybe it was a repost. We got to be getting close here. Dude, this is what I said yesterday, though. So anyway, just give you, so it's not so much dead air and bad radio. BLM held a podium press conference, whatever you want to call it, outside. I don't know if it was outside of the courthouse, but Jordan Neely's father went up and spoke and spouted off all this shit, like, "Oh, I miss my son. What are we gonna do? We're gonna rise up against this." And then I believe a lot of the founders were, "Oh, goddamn America, goddamn the system that screwed us, blah, blah, blah," calling for violence, inciting it, and but they said the right words. They said the right words. They said they weren't going to, they never really collectively said, like, this is what we're going to do. But the hints are there. If you can read through the lines, the hints are there. It's all about Luigi Mangione. Like, what? Just let it go. Not let it go. We'll cover that one next. But this is like dead air. Like, I'm trying to find this. And I don't remember where it is. I feel like I'm just too far. We're all the way in December 9th. Wait, what's the date today? Isn't that today? That's yesterday. I should have saved it. Shit. So, I kind of want a video for reference, but I think I might have to. Okay, so we're getting closer to. All of it just kind of blends in together. There's tons of. I'm gonna have to go way far down to find it, and I don't like. Here it is. Here it is. So, let's give us some volume here.
People want to jump up and choke us and kill us for being loud. How about we do the same when they attempt to oppress us? Right. I'm tired.
So that
We need some.
this guy's gonna get some people hurt. There was another video of him saying, "Do all this on the weekend." Start holding events on the weekend. But case in point, think about it this way. If Jordan Neely had gotten the help that he needed, if he had taken advantage of the help that he was given, he'd probably still be alive today. He could have avoided that. But again, on the flip side of the coin, some people just aren't ready to change. And that's a fact. And it sucks. What I don't like is how they're propping up these heroes that are known drug addicts, crackheads, whatever you want to call them, people who mental health issues. They're propping these gentlemen up as the heroes for BLM. Not to say that their lives matter any less, but it's like they don't ever prop up the ones who were shot by other black people, It sucks, you know. Prayers go out to the family on both sides. Hope that you just kind of get what you live and let live. You know, live and let live. So we're gonna move on to the. Let's talk about Brian Thompson here, the CEO of United Healthcare. Was shot, killed. This young man was really either feeling the pressure of the holidays or just wanted to make a statement. And so I got the article pulled up here. So, Luigi Mangione, 26. A suspect in connection with the killing of the United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was arrested in Pennsylvania on Monday in possession of a gun and multiple fake IDs, officials said. Luigi Mangione was arrested at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, after a customer recognized him from photos that were distributed during the days-long manhunt that followed Thompson's death, police said. He was arraigned Monday evening in Pennsylvania on 2 felony charges, forgery and carrying a firearm without a license, and 3 misdemeanors, tampering with records or identification, possessing instruments of crime, and providing false identification to law enforcement. Man, I got heartburn. He was denied bail and did not enter a plea. Officials said they expect charges connected to Thompson's death last week to be filed in New York very soon, quote unquote. Law enforcement officials said officers immediately recognized Mangione as the person of interest in the fatal shooting of Thompson after they asked him to pull down his mask. So yeah, this guy was wearing a mask. I mean, maybe he was overly cautious about COVID. Maybe he didn't want to get sick. Maybe. Law enforcement officials said officers immediately recognized Mangione as the person of interest in the fatal shooting of Thompson after they asked him. I already read that. When they asked him whether he had recently been to New York, the male became quiet and started to shake. Probably anxiety, I'm assuming. You know, maybe he was on it. Maybe he forgot to take his anxiety meds that day. The police complaint says that he started to shake after he became quiet. Authorities said Monday night that while Mangione was initially cooperative, he was no longer being helpful. So I read somewhere that he's no longer talking to authorities about, and like I've heard that his his social media is completely scrubbed. X suspended his account. You do something wild like this, like your account's gonna get shut down or scrubbed, unless there's something that they're hiding. But it's funny that we know more about this guy than we do about Thomas Crooks, the Trump assassin, one of them. Mangione was found with a gun similar to the one used in the shooting and had a fake ID with the same name the suspected gunman used at a New York City hostel, police said. Additionally, officers recovered a handwritten document that speaks to both his motivation and mindset, so his manifesto. New York City Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch said, Mangione, who was born and raised in Maryland, has ties to San Francisco and had a last known address in Hawaii, officials said. He has no previous arrests, so he's a ghost, essentially. The document speaking to a motive came in the form of 3 handwritten pages, evidence that is with Altoona Police, New York City officials said. It wasn't immediately clear whether the pages named Thompson. Investigators are also looking at Mangione's online posts about domestic terrorist Ted Kaczynski. Law enforcement sources told NBC News. Isn't that the Unabomber? I think it is. Kaczynski, whose bombs killed 3 people, long decried the ills of modern American life and harbored other anti-establishment views. We don't think that there's any specific threats to other people mentioned in that document, NYPD Chief of Detectives Joseph Kenney said. But it does seem that he has some ill will towards corporate America. Man, corporate America blows. We know that. But I'm not going to kill somebody over it. Mangione also had a weapon that might have been homemade and thus off the radar of any law enforcement or government agency. The information we're getting from Altoona. Sorry about that. One of my kids was up. So where were we? We were talking about Mangione. So he had a homemade weapon, and it was off the radar, so there's no serial number. They're saying it's the information we're getting from Altoona is that the gun appears to be a ghost gun, which may have been made on a 3D printer. Kenny had said he was in possession of a ghost gun that he had the capability of firing a 9mm round in a suppressor. Police said the public's help played a key role in making the arrest. There's numerous linchpins in this case, Kenny said. We've recovered an enormous amount of forensic evidence, an enormous amount of video, and once again, with your help, the public's help. So, we're going to stop there with that. That's just... Things aren't adding up here. Maybe I'm too much of a conspiracy theorist to really comprehend what happened, really. I mean, it's... Something's not adding up with this. Because, first of all, this guy has no previous record whatsoever. He just decided one day that he's going to do this. Maybe, I don't know if he got declined on his claims to get money for... But this kid was a Penn State, like... I don't know if he was an alumni or if he was still going. He might have been an alumni. But, for him to just go out and do something wild like this is just... It's weird, to say the least. Like, this kid is an heir to some resort or something like that. And it's odd because, you know, why would he do this? Like, what possesses a person to do something like this? A random act of violence in New York City, where you are going to get caught inevitably. You're going to be caught. And then he doesn't leave. He doesn't leave New York City. He immediately rides to Central Park on a bicycle and then, like, leaves his shit there. And then, like, he had to stop at Starbucks beforehand. Felt the need to flirt with the barista before he went, and he had to get his nice little caffeine boost before he went and took the life of another. But it's just a weird situation, because it just seems like a setup. It doesn't seem like it would be this kid of all people. And like his YouTube, they're still uploading videos to his YouTube even though he's arrested. Like, and he starts them off by saying, if you are watching this, then I'm already under arrest, blah blah blah, you know. I'm curious to see what that manifesto is going to say, though. That'll be interesting, to say the least, what that's going to be. But you're seeing photoshopped photos all over social media with this kid's face on them. You know, oh, Luigi's our latest employee. He's doing so well. We hired him on this day, like the day of the shooting. And they're comparing him to Kyle Rittenhouse and saying, I don't want to fucking hear any... Let me see if I can find that, actually. I don't want to fucking hear any people say anything about... about Luigi Mangione, because this is the same thing that happened with Kyle Rittenhouse. Like, dude, just let it fucking go, dude. Let it go. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit. Let me see if I can find it. I know I replied to it. Oh, here it is. So this is what liberals are doing right now. It's pretty bizarre, actually. Pretty bizarre. So this is the funny how many Kyle Rittenhouse fans suddenly have changed their opinions on vigilantism. St. Luigi. What? How is this even comparable? This isn't vigilantism. The difference between Kyle Rittenhouse is he was being attacked actively. Like he acted in self-defense. And he shot 2 people. This guy, completely unwarranted, shot a man in the back and in his leg and killed him. It is clown world that we're living in right now. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's not the weirdest thing, but it's an odd one for sure. So they're trying to raise this guy up, and I think I went past, I believe his bullets said, deny. What did his bullets say? Shoot. What did they say? I think it was deny, dispose. I don't want to speak too heavily on that quite yet because I don't quite know. I don't remember exactly what they had said. People are getting his shell casings tattooed on them, like of what they said. They found another bag of bullets in Central Park not tied to the CEO killing. That's great. Yikes. I love how I can't find it at all. Like, no one's going to say anything about it. Bet you I'll find it on X right away. Guaranteed. And when I do, I'll let you guys know because... Oh, this is what it said. It said defend, deny, and depose. Let's find it. Let's screen share so you guys can follow along. It's crazy how quickly I found that. Liberals are getting this tattooed on them. Like, for what? They're gonna prop this guy up because he went against the establishment. Yeah, you can go against the establishment. You don't have to kill somebody, though. There's a difference between freedom of speech and then just blatantly murdering people. Freedom of speech is not free will. What do we do, guys? What the fuck do we do? What can we do? Is this going to directly affect us? Not if you're not insured through United Healthcare. It's literally about what you submerge yourself into and what you fill your time with. I mean, there was a time, I'm going to get real here for a second, you know. There was a time in my life where I didn't give a shit about politics, and I still don't. But I feel like now that I have a family, I kind of have to care about what's being put out there, about what's going to affect my financial situation directly. And I just try to inform as much as I possibly can. I don't know shit. I'm not an economist. I'm not a politician. feel like it's backwards. It's very, you have to be careful what you listen to and what you read, because not everything is not everything is fact. And a lot of the things that I say are just, I'm just reading it to you. I'm showing you what I'm reading. That's all it is. That's what I'm doing. And if you're down the rabbit hole of politics, like, I'll hold your hand, we'll go through it together. Like, we can do this. I'm learning as I go. But at the same time, it's like, man, I just, some days I really wish I didn't give a fuck. I really wish I didn't care. And I know there are people who have gone through their whole lives not caring. And that's fine. I envy those people. I'm not kidding. I don't envy anybody. I had a pretty good life right now. But, whatever happens, I hope justice will be served. I know there's a lot of division right now, even though 86% of us voted for Trump. And, whatever happens is going to happen. It's not black and white. There's many moving factors here when it comes to politics and when it comes to everyday life right now. And maybe we're on the verge of war. Maybe we're on the verge of losing our houses. Maybe we're on the verge of total financial collapse or economic collapse. Time will only tell, and God really only knows what's going to happen. So, well, I want to thank you guys for kicking it and just listening to my bullshit for a little while. I'm going to try to, I say this every time, I'm going to try to do more of these at least once a week where I can talk about more news stories. And there's shit happening every day. Every day there's stuff happening. It would be easier if I had a co-host, though. Looking for one. Looking for a co-host. If you just want to zoom in or something, we can talk shit. We can debate. You can educate me. We can talk about conspiracy theories together. Whatever you want. I think that it is getting late, and I'm going to call it. Again, be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. This is Political Sanity. I'm your host, Adam Bruton. This is episode 18. I'm going to try to get this uploaded by tomorrow. Thank you guys. God bless. Love you.